Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome to Docentes DigitalesTV, the most complete spoken English course on all of YouTube. If you're here, it means you're ready to learn English in the most effective and natural way, by listening, understanding, and speaking. You don't need a dictionary, you don't need to memorize vocabulary, and you don't even need to study grammar rules. Just listen, speak out loud, and follow the story. At the end of this video, you'll also have a short test to check your understanding and a vocabulary explanation for the less common words used in the story. So, let's begin. It was supposed to be a regular shift. I clocked in just before 7 p.m., put on my scrubs, tied my hair back, and grabbed a cup of coffee before heading to the nurse's station. Night shifts at the hospital had become routine to me. Tiring, yes, but predictable. Or so I thought. I remember glancing at the patient board and seeing a new name I didn't recognize. Mrs. Evelyn Carter, room 214B. The note beside her name said, "Palliative care, stage 4 cancer." My heart immediately dropped. Those cases were always the hardest. Not because of the medical complexity, but because of the emotional weight. I walked into her room slowly, not wanting to startle her. The lights were dim, and a soft beeping sound from the monitor filled the silence. She looked so frail, like a breath could blow her away. But then she opened her eyes and smiled. "You must be the night nurse," she said gently. I nodded and introduced myself. "I'm Julia. I'll be with you through the night. If you need anything at all, I'm just a button away." She chuckled lightly. "What I need, sweetheart, you can't give me. But thank you." I adjusted her IV, took her vitals, and fluffed her pillow. As I turned to leave, she reached out and touched my arm. "Stay a moment, will you? It's been a long time since I talked to someone who wasn't just checking my chart." That stopped me in my tracks. I pulled the chair closer to her bed and sat down. She began talking about her daughter, who hadn't visited in weeks, about her late husband and how he used to dance with her in the kitchen every Saturday morning. Her voice was tired, but her words were full of life. I listened, occasionally holding her hand when her breathing became shallow. Hours passed. I had other patients to check on, but something kept drawing me back to room 214B. Every time I walked by, I peeked in. She would smile at me, sometimes wave weakly. At around 2 a.m., the monitors started beeping erratically. I rushed in. Her breathing had become more labored. I called the doctor on duty, and we administered morphine to ease her pain. I stayed by her side. No one else was there. No family, no friends. Just a nurse who had met her only hours ago. Her hand clutched mine tightly. "Don't let go," she whispered. "Please." "I'm here," I told her. "I'm right here." And then, as the monitor flatlined and the room went completely silent, I felt her grip loosen. She died holding my hand. I didn't cry at first. I just sat there, stunned. Nurses are trained for these moments. We're supposed to be strong, to be composed. But something about this one broke me. I got up, slowly walked to the nurse's station, and asked to step outside for a few minutes. I went to the stairwell, sat down on the cold steps, and cried. Not just for her, but for every patient I couldn't save, for every lonely goodbye, for every moment where I wished I could do more. The next morning, I wrote her final report and contacted social services to locate her daughter. When they finally reached her, she didn't say much. Just asked if the body could be held for a few days until she could arrange the paperwork. No emotion, no questions. I went home after my shift, exhausted, but I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her face, her smile, her hand gripping mine. Over the next few days, I kept thinking about her. I even brought flowers and placed them by her nameplate before it was removed. I wasn't family, but I felt like I owed her that much. That night changed me. It reminded me that nursing isn't just about medicine or charts. It's about presence. It's about being there when no one else is. It's about holding a hand so someone doesn't die alone. Even now, years later, I still remember every detail. I don't think I'll ever forget. And honestly, I don't want to. Now, if you've been listening closely, it's time to check your understanding with a quick test. Remember to answer out loud. You will have 5 seconds to answer each question, so focus and do your best. Where did Julia work during the night shift? At a hospital. What was the name of the patient in room 214B? Mrs. Evelyn Carter. What condition was Evelyn suffering from? Stage 4 cancer. What did Evelyn say Julia couldn't give her? What she truly needed. Why did Julia stay longer in Evelyn's room? Because Evelyn asked her to talk and stay. What time did Evelyn's condition worsen? Around 2 a.m. What did Evelyn ask Julia to do as she was dying? Not to let go of her hand. How did Julia react after Evelyn passed away? She cried alone in the stairwell. How did Evelyn's daughter respond when contacted? She showed no emotion and just asked to hold the body. What did Julia do in memory of Evelyn after her nameplate was removed? She brought flowers and placed them where the nameplate had been. Now, let's take a moment to go over some of the less common vocabulary from this story. These words will help expand your spoken English and understanding. Palliative care refers to medical care focused on providing relief from the symptoms and stress of a serious illness. For example, my uncle received palliative care during his final weeks. Flatlined means that the heart has stopped beating, as shown on a monitor with a straight line. For example, the monitor flatlined and the room went silent. To fluff a pillow means to shake or pat it to make it softer or restore its shape. For example, she fluffed the pillows before the guests arrived. To be composed means to remain calm and not show emotion, especially in stressful situations. For example, despite the bad news, he remained composed. To clutch means to hold tightly. For example, she clutched her purse when she heard a strange noise. To break someone, emotionally, means to overwhelm them to the point of crying or emotional pain. For example, the loss of his dog really broke him. A nameplate is a small sign that shows someone's name, often outside a room or office. For example, her nameplate was removed after she left the company. Shallow breathing refers to quick, light breaths that are not deep. For example, his shallow breathing indicated he was in distress. To be stunned means to be shocked or unable to move or react. For example, she was stunned by the unexpected news. To owe someone means to feel a sense of duty or gratitude. For example, I owe my teacher everything for helping me succeed. Thank you so much for staying with me until the end of this video. If you found this story meaningful and helpful for your English learning journey, please don't forget to subscribe to Docentes DigitalesTV. Give this video a like and share it with others who want to learn English through real, emotional, and powerful stories. I'll see you in the next one.